As for me, I have cared too much about people and places, cared too hard. It made me as a writer, but it will break me in the end.
Willa Cather wrote some of the most unforgettable fiction of the 20th century. She also wrote thousands of letters. People thought most had been burned. Not so.
I loved reading those letters, and I was amazed I kept finding more letters.
She was so connected in such an interesting time and place that
Yes.
it's really, you're getting a view into a whole world.
The publication of the selected letters of Willa Cather made news across America. In her will, Cather expressly forbid publishing or even quoting from her letters. But Andy Jewell and Janice Stout do not see their book as a betrayal. They were following the lead of Cather's family, who released a flood of letters after keeping them safe for over 60 years. Everyone seemed to feel it was time. Time to meet Willa Cather, the person.
My heart to you always, Willie. Such a ravishing world and such a short life to see it in. Lovingly, Willa. Hastily to catch the mail, yours, Willa Cather.
I always feel like coming to Red Cloud is a real remarkable experience, especially in this house. You know, she filled her work full of memories of this house.
Willa Cather's childhood home in Red Cloud sits on a quiet street, once filled with noise and excitement. Here, Willa Cather wrote her first known letter to a prominent citizen of Red Cloud.
School begins Monday, and I suppose I shall go, though I don't feel buoyant over the prospect. I've grown so attached to my work and place in the office and to my little laboratory and dissecting outfit and my stuffed animals, it is hard for me to leave them. She was 14 when she wrote this letter, and it's to a woman named Helen Stoll. You can tell from the letter that Cather wanted to show off a little bit to her.
Yes.
It was a busy community with lots of people, lots of action, lots of ambition.
We children have a great many picnics, parties, and circuses this summer, and hoping to see you all with us ere another Christmas, I remain your affectionate friend, William Cather. It's very hard to project yourself back in time. I mean, we can read history, we can learn about it, but it's still about it. But then you come here and you feel the slopey floor. She wrote something about the old house with everything slanting and sloping. Well, I can feel that under my feet right now.
And then you go upstairs, you see her room covered with a rose wallpaper. And then you remember the letters where she references to her brother. Remember years ago when we were children and I would read you my poems in the rose bower?
Yes, with its slopey ceiling that you can touch, and that's in some of her writing, you know, a snuggy, close-in ceiling with a window.
And she put some of that feeling, I think, into Thea Kronberg in Song of the Lark, when Thea is staying up late, cold in her room and huddled under the blankets and reading Tolstoy, you know, and trying to get a sense of this bigger world out there that she's going to go after.
First time I saw the Willa Cather Prairie 20 years ago, I came out to a Cather conference as my 30th birthday present to myself. So that was just such a geeky thing to do. But I came out and I went to the Willa Cather Prairie and I thought, okay, I'm going to see the place of my Antonia, which I had read at least 25 times at that point. And I was shocked because it wasn't absolutely flat.
Willa Cather was only 9 years old when she came to Nebraska from Virginia with her family. It was as bare, she said, as a piece of sheet iron. It wasn't literally true. It was a feeling. And in 1912, Cather struggled to express that feeling in a letter to a friend.
The West always paralyzes me a little. When I am away from it, I remember only the tang on the tongue. But when I come back, I always feel a little of the fright I felt when I was a child. I always feel afraid of losing something, and I don't in the least know what it is. It's real enough to make a tightness in my chest, even now. And when I was little, it was even stronger. I used always to be sure that I'd never get out, that I would die in a cornfield. Now I know I will get out again, but I still get attacks of fright.